Let's finish up with a good daily debate, guys. We got a great question here. This one could be all over the place. I don't think this is one we're going to be kumbayaing and agreeing. 5,316 votes came in. Let's go reverse.
All right.
Most people want to see Jones and Cormier, and then Khabib versus McGregor, and then third place Nunes versus Cyborg, and in fourth place it's other. But here's the question. Rematch is the theme. If you can only pick one rematch, guys, to see this year, what is it? Dan Tom, lead off.
I'm surprised here. Obviously, you said it so yourself. Other came in the least votes, which usually Other does, right, guys? That's maybe not a surprise. Yeah. But what came in third in the least of the stated options was my pick, Nunes Cyborg. I think that's the only one that makes the most sense. You know, the other guys have other options, and I think we could live without seeing those fights happen. But who else is Cyborg going to face? And Nunes, she does have 2 belts, so that technically means she has more options than most champions. But even her, I don't think there's a big line banging at the door at bantamweight. I think that one needs to be run back. So I got Nunes Cyborg.
All right, this is the way I look at it. Khabib and Conor just doesn't make sense to me. There wasn't anything in that first fight that made me say, I gotta see that again right away.
Right.
Cormier Jones, I've seen it. I could live without it.
Yep.
Okay. Cyborg Nunes, I want Amanda to defend her other belt, so I'm okay with that. I'm gonna go with other. Here's what I think is perfect timing for it. Why not make the Conor Diaz matchup? We're always talking about how it hangs out in the wing. Let's do it now. Let's just settle it now.
I thought you were going to go Conor Holloway, and you would have won me over, but you came up a little short for me there, man. I gotta be honest.
But I know that everybody would call me out and say, "Aren't you the guy that says we need to protect these titles and this and that?" I would have loved to have seen it. But, you know, I would have loved to have seen it at featherweight.
Yeah.
I thought you were going to say Derek Lewis versus Ngannou. Sorry, Derek Lewis. Sorry, all right, so listen. If it's Khabib McGregor, our website.
Said that and my phone came on.
Oh, my bad. If it's website McGregor, or sorry, if it's Khabib and McGregor, it's tons of traffic for the website. The show blows up with listeners. There's nothing like having a Conor fight, but I can't say it. It's Jones and Cormier for me. But
really?
I have a whole different take on why. It's because Cormier's going to retire soon. So all these other fighters, like they're in their late 20s, early 30s. Like, I feel like we have time. Maybe Cyborg is hinted towards, hey, I want to start a family someday. So maybe there's a little bit of on the clock there. But let's just say DC extends his deadline, self-imposed deadline. It's either March 19th or March 20th when he turns 40. I don't think we'll get him past International Fight Week. And I want to see them for third. However, my caveat is it's got to be at heavyweight.
I was going to ask you.
I
Okay.
All
right. I appreciate that caveat.
What are you going to do when they sit there and they're talking smack again? We've heard it so many times.
No.
What are they going to tell each other?
Cormier can say, yeah, well, I had to cut to get to you. Now I'm happy. Oh, God, my shoulder. Now I'm happy and I'm content. And, you know, now this is the big boy title. You know, I mean, he can spin it in some sort of a fashion. Look at them skinny legs. You know, he can say anything he wants to Jones.
Oh, man.
It's a whole different, like, it's a
Call
different
me when
DC.
you're ready to go is the way I would look at that fight.
It's tough. I want to argue against it. I want to say that your option has the least grounds for justification on paper, but the results don't say that, do they?
It came in #1, yeah.
Man,
44%.
I want to argue with you, but
you said Jones and Cormier, and then Khabib and Conor is just because those guys have. I mean, Russia and Ireland.
I can't believe you,
what I
just
mean?
injured yourself doing a promo for another fight.
Yeah.
For 2 other guys to fight.
You know what? I was gonna declare myself about 80% healthy on this shoulder, and that little movement of whatever I did,
The Kamala.
I think so. That hurt. But you know, they're all great fights. But I feel like my only argument really stems with the Cormier deadline. You know, if it wasn't for the deadline, I don't know if I would say Nunes Cyborg because it was definitive. And the problem is, I want a man. I didn't really want a super fight. I'll take him, you know. But now I want Nunes to go back and fight Vera. And if she wants, Cyborg can rest, and then Nunes can come back. But when does it ever go that way? There's always injuries or contract holdouts. So I know it's not likely. But Jones and Cormier, man, I love bad blood. And think about Jones. I mean, he would make history by being another champ if he won. And then Cormier would really make history because that's what stops people from calling him the GOAT is the losses to Jones. So to now have a win over Jones, that would be really, really historical. So that's why I went with that one. Hey, thanks to all of our readers of the website and the listeners of the show for participating. That's our beloved Junkie Nation.